I'm your host, Matt, and this platform is all about real stories, raw journeys and transformations, both physical and mental. And I'll be welcoming best in field professionals and clients over time. Welcome to the second episode of the Flex Fit Coaching Podcast. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Radu Dumitrescu. Radu is one of the country's top physiotherapists, bringing a wealth of experience from working with pro athletes, combining evidence-based practice with a no-nonsense, realistic approach to rehab and performance. Founder of raduphysio, Radu has helped countless people get back to doing what they love. Stronger, smarter, and pain-free. This podcast is packed with insight for athletes, coaches, and anyone serious about their body. Radu, for those that don't know you, how did your journey into physiotherapy begin?
It probably started from a very young age. My mother probably, it's her fault, got me into all this medical science, all this human body anatomy. She was a biology teacher. She had a bacteriology degree. She had a PhD, a master, etc., etc. I picked up her books from a very young age, learning about human body. I was kind of quite hyper-focused on that for quite a long time. I started with heavy sports from a very young age. 6 or 7, I started getting into judo. Later on, got into Greco-Roman wrestling. Unfortunately, at the age of 14, I got hit by a car.
Really?
Yeah. I got hit by a car, smashed my lumbar spine.
Oh,
I had no breaks, no fractures whatsoever, but unfortunately, soft structures, the soft tissue structures.
The car came off worse than you.
Well, I got quite badly off that, but yeah, indeed, the car got impounded and got crushed, to be honest with you. That's another story for another time, but that kind of, I've seen the holes in the rehabilitation, industry, let's say, that, I decided to actually go on my own and just kind of rehab myself with what I had in my head, knowledge that I had in my head at that point in time, with the help of a brilliant physiotherapist himself, an ex-wrestler as well.
He was a friend of yours?
No, he was the guy that was retiring. I went in there, I went to the rehabilitation unit of the local hospital. I got in there, I got actually passed on to a young, just finished the university, the physiotherapy university. I didn't see any sense in what the guy was saying. He was trying to give me a massage to try to relax the muscles. And I said, well, the problem is not muscles. The problem, it's a radiculopathy problem. It's a nerve issue, that it's the disc that's damaged, like what the massage will do. So anyway, I got into a little bit of an argument with the guy, and the other guy came out of his office. He was the one that was still there for a few months. He was the coordinator, the head physio. And, an absolutely really fat guy, but absolutely out of shape. But it turns out he used to do wrestling. And I said, oh, you seem a little bit cocky. What do you know? And I said, I said, look, I did, serious sport for quite a while. What did you do? Wrestling's obviously, we kind of found a common point. And I said, I don't believe in what this guy is telling me that I should go for, stop all my sports. And I think I should probably get back in the gym as soon as I can, start strengthening everything around it. I need to work on my core and my glutes, which I definitely diminishing by the day. And he's like, all right, you got a little bit of sense. Come into my office. We got into the office. He said, I get your point of view. It's quite frustrating. You obviously know you have something in your head in there. So let's talk about what you want to do. So I spoke to him, and that kind of, because by that point in time, I think everyone was looking at me. I might become a doctor or some kind of, medical practitioner. And I didn't like doctors, to be honest with you. I just said that I just want to become a physio. It just kind of makes sense with the knowledge that I have of anatomy and physiology and the sports that I did. I basically found that is the common sense route to choose for me to help people from the physical point of view. I truly believe that movement is medicine. And I truly believe that people, if they look after themselves, they don't have to take so much medication to be so anal about, statins.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So that's the route I took to help people from a non-invasive point of view, because everything that's to do with drugs, with medication, it's an invasive point of view. We talk about just before the podcast about your shoulder, and I said to you my opinion about what happens when you actually use, for example, corticosteroids, and rather than just going purely trying the rehabilitation first and then using medication as a last resort, or together with a physiotherapy, rather than just a chemical solution to a mechanical problem, like which we can debate about it in this podcast if you want to. So that's why I become a physio, because as I said, I saw it in between, the link in between medical science, which I was quite into it. My knowledge is so deep, knowledge of anatomy and physiology by the time I was like 14, and the sports that I did.
Okay, cool. And you've built RD Physio, which is your company, your brand, into your trusted name. So what's the vision behind it, and how has it evolved?
I don't know, like, I get a lot of questions about the vision. I don't really necessarily have a vision. I came to UK 21 years ago. It's just, everything is just kind of naturally built up for me, not rather than just like, oh, I have this vision, or I just started low with opening my, it's exactly in the same position that I've been 11 years ago, 12 years ago when I opened the clinic. So I got 12 years since I went on my own. So May 2013 I started. I decided that I can't work. I worked for a very short period of time in NHS, for like literally 3 months. I resigned. I said, I can't do it with this bullshit. I was being told off. I had verbal warnings and written warnings for doing my job, spending time with patients rather than spending time, to write reports. I was told of, like, oh, you spend too much time with the patient. So instead of giving them 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and having to write 10 minutes report behind it, I was spending maybe 45 minutes making like a huge queue outside the door. Because I can't offer someone quality treatment within half an hour, and it's impossible.
Yeah.
What can you do in half an hour, So yeah, I realized that, I was getting literally going from anxiety to anxiety from each patient, because I was rushing everyone. I decided I can't do conveyor belts physiotherapy, so I have to do on my own, do everything in my own time. I opened the clinic in May 2013 with nothing, absolutely just the contacts that I had. Luckily, I played rugby in here, and had quite a few contacts through rugby, through the gym, through people that I knew. And I just started, as I said to you, having 2-3 patients a week. Within 9 months, I think I was fully booked. I had a fully booked diary within 9 months. Within a year, I had a waiting list. So it worked well. I think it worked well because, what I spoke to Alfie as well, and lots of people that give me the feedback, it's, I don't bullshit.
No.
I'm pretty straightforward, and I tell people what I think.
Yeah.
Whether it's something that they want to hear or they don't want to hear. There's some fancies out there that they come to see me and they want their ego tickled. We're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Put it this way. So I get big people, show them that they're weak, but some people don't accept that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I understand. It's how
I think that's what separates me from other physios, basically. And the vision is not. I don't have a vision of taking the business to, millions, to make millions. I just want to be honest. I want to make enough money to be able to feed my family and, see the world a little bit.
And to help people.
To help. That's my main.
It's the same with me.
No, that's my main thing. My main
it's a good
motivation. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you work with a lot of pro athletes. So is there a difference to how a pro athlete would handle their injury as opposed to a gym goer like you or me, if we train 4 or 5 times a week, compared to them and they come in with an injury? Is there a different way you would handle an injury with them and to a normal gym goer like me, or is it the same process?
It depends on how dedicated the gym goer is. You're a dedicated person. Come on, you know what I mean. You wouldn't probably just looking at your aspect and the way you look. Probably your, I would say, discipline. You got the discipline, is it?
Yeah, for sure.
Majority of people have fuck all discipline, is it? Nothing.
Yeah.
Can we say fuck? So yeah, majority of people they don't have accountability. They don't have discipline. They don't have that ingrained in them. People. I personally, and I tell that to everyone, I'm not a big fan of going to the gym and lifting tin. When I go and I approach a bar, whether I deadlift or I squat, I know how much I'm going to deadlift. I know how much I'm going to squat. I know how I'm going to be able on that day.
Yeah.
It's no for me, like, going and wrestling a guy, for example. I come from a wrestling background. You never know the outcome. You don't know what's going to happen. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. But in the gym,
suspense.
Yeah, so in the gym, I know what I'm going to do. I know that I'm going to lift today 250 kilograms 5 times, 5 sets, 5 reps. You know what I mean? I know I'm going to squat that much. I know, you know what I mean? So for me, it's no excitement about gym training. However, I still do it every single week. You ask me how many times a week I train, as often as I can.
Yeah.
As much as I can. If I can train 6 days a week, I'll train 6 days a week. If I can only train 4 days a week because of my busy schedule, I will train 4 days a week. I'll try to keep in a 5th session if I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not because I like it, because it's ingrained in me, because I did it for so long. People only see oh my God, you're very strong. You look like so and like that. I've been here for 45 years and I don't, since the age of 7, I don't think I stopped for more than 2 or 3 weeks. Even when I was injured, I remember when I injured my back and, I was quite bad. I used to limp. I used to take me 5 minutes to walk to the gym. Now, after I got injured, I used to limp for 45 minutes to get to the gym.
Yes.
So I would get in there, I would do something that I could.
Were you in pain?
Yeah. Agony, not pain.
It's funny you say that because, Alfie knows as well, but I injured my back. I every day I didn't know whether to call an ambulance, vomit, or cry.
Yeah.
Even moving an inch forward to brush my teeth, the pain was just agonizing. And the only respite I had, I was lucky, was I could lie on the floor, a hard floor, and the pain would subside from level 10 to maybe level 5.
Yeah.
So if I went to the cinema, a restaurant, a train station, you just see me on the floor because I just need 5 minutes to ease it, to then get it to level 5, quickly get to the car.
Yeah. So can you? Nightmare.
But it's interesting because I would have loved to have spoken to you around then because I was told don't do anything. Don't.
That's the biggest bullshit. That's. So see,
But I did. So I would secretly, if I saw a gym or if I went to a hotel, I'd quickly do some curls or something. But it felt great.
Exactly. That's what I mean. And movement is medicine, my brother. That's what people don't get it.
I was being told no because you could dislodge something and you can make it worse.
But why don't you educate people on what can make it worse? And there's a few principles. If you give the time to explain to people what could potentially make it worse, the dynamic of what could, you had a disc probably herniation, to this disc herniation, and what is the mechanics of a disc herniation? What puts pressure on the disc? In what position? For example, one the position would be for flexion. Why don't you tell that person that injured their back, learn how to hinge the hips, learn how to use your glutes to hinge forward rather than hinging on your back to create anterior shearing forces to push your disc dynamically behind to put pressure on the nerve root and cause the radicular pain, because that's essentially what you had, the radicular pain.
My mate had to put me in a wheelchair going around Disney World with my kids because I just couldn't walk.
Yeah, but that's not gonna see, that's the thing. So you ask me, what motivates me to go to the gym? What motivates me to go to the gym now? Because of my back problem. If I stop for 2 weeks, I seize up.
Yeah.
So I go from literally lifting heavy weights to not being able to watch my bumble.
Yeah. So I was being told. So I saw the MRIs of my discs.
Yeah.
And I had injections and nothing touched the side.
But mate, let me tell you a thing, yeah? When you have a car, you drive a car, yeah? So when your disc brakes go and your disc pads go, yeah? It's a mechanical problem, isn't it? Something worn out.
Yeah.
Something spot, yeah?
Yeah.
So do you still go and put fucking brake fluid in it?
Probably. No, not if they're not there.
There we go. So why do you keep getting injections for a mechanical issue? So your problem is mechanical. So
yeah, back at the time we didn't know that. But then I went to see a neuro surgeon in the end. I went to see 3. So I was begging for just someone to do an operation. I couldn't do it anymore. I'd lost a stone in muscle. I was getting depressed because I'd been at the gym for a year, right? Because we love doing what we love doing. I love going to the gym, and it was just taken away from me. Plus, I lost all this weight. Plus, I was in loads of pain every day. It was just
it was just hard depression.
And then this fella said, "This is what we'll do. We're going through the side. I saw the MRI, and basically the disc had herniated so much, it was like coming out the other side.
Yeah.
So we did the operation, and I'm the fittest and strongest I've ever been
So
able
you had
to be.
microdiscectomy.
Yeah, endoscopic endoscopy.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing ever.
If they go through the back or the front?
No, they went in the side.
From the side. Brilliant. That's the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did it?
Done, they did it.
What did it? You'll tell me later.
He's such a lovely guy.
London.
Cliff. Dan Cliff.
Dan Pleb.
You know Dan Cliff?
That's not German.
He is, John. 100.
Romanian, mate.
So Dan Plev saved me, and that guy is an amazing individual. But interesting, because the surgeon is a surgeon, right? That's what they're going to do. So you're saying, if I would have come to you, knowing I've lost a stone, I couldn't walk, I was in that much pain, would there have been a way to fix that?
Did you try any physiotherapy at all?
Yeah, but nothing.
But what did you do for physiotherapy?
I can't remember. It was about 10 years.
So see, if you can't remember, that means you did bullshit physiotherapy. Because if you do good physiotherapy, you ask you came and you interview. So Alfie interviewed some of my patients. You remember Gabs that started crying, and when everyone told her that she's never gonna lift her ever again, and she was in agony day by day, and she started crying during the interview.
Yeah, I saw that on your.
Oh, there you go. So see, I got hundreds of people like that. That we were like, oh, nothing's gonna do it. You're not gonna lift ever again. You're gonna have to have a surgery. Had Elise Peterson.
I know what you're saying is correct.
So,
first hand.
I can't guarantee you. I can't guarantee you that it could have come to me. You don't need a surgery, but you know.
You give me a 50-50 chance.
I give you a 50-50 chance, my friend.
That's exactly what I've heard.
I can't offer anyone, like, I don't fucking know, like, what's gonna happen tomorrow. How the fuck would I know? There's so many variables. That's what, like, people, especially when it comes to back rehab, people want to pinpoint only one thing that gone wrong with the fucking back. It's not one thing. It's like you have to take in consideration a lot of things that you have to put together. You have to take that person's, what they do, their, like, level of fitness, their biomechanics, and putting all that together. That's when you can put a rehabilitation program together.
Yeah,
properly.
There's a fella in our neck of the woods down here who's more of an osteo, and he's got about an alphabet after his name. He's very similar to you. His name's James Ellis, who'll probably be watching this. Now, after I had my operation, I was 2 or 3 years clean, and I was rocking. But I know what happens. I did something where I thought I'm fixed now. I can do this again.
Yeah.
And I had a tweak,
Yeah.
and some pain started to come, and I just shat myself. I was like, oh my God. It's coming back after I've been 3 years good. And it got worse. When I was sitting on the train, I couldn't move properly. I started to become immobile. And I went to see James, and he said that, right, he said, I'm going to give you a 50-50 chance. And I had something booked with Dan Plev in like 3 weeks' time. And he said, right, I'm going to give you a 50% chance to do everything I tell you to do.
Yeah.
And he just did his stuff, which probably be similar to you. And the first few sessions, I was like, it's not fucking working. Fuck, I'm gonna have to.
If we're not gonna work in a few sessions.
And then the second week, it just started to go.
Yeah.
I was like, it's going. It's
Yeah.
fucking going. And it went. And now, 5 years later, stronger than ever. But
There you go.
I can't do the stuff you do, and I won't ever do it again. And actually, you might, and this is always an arm wrestle. I won't tell clients to load their back and spine with a barbell anymore, because unless it's a hack squat or a belt squat, where the risk is eliminated by 75%, where you can still work the same muscles but eliminate risk. Only because, I'm sure you're not going to like this, only because I've seen the damage it's done, and that's why some of this stuff has been invented, like a belt squat.
I have no problem with that, mate.
Belt squat goes round your waist, your back is free, straight with your ass, you hold on, it's all leg power. Hack squat was invented just after Ronnie Coleman can't fucking walk anymore because of all the loading. You're a 45-degree angle, your feet are high up on the plate, your back and bum are tight against the pad. It eliminates some of the risks, but you can still work the same muscle. I get what you're saying, though. I'm going to guess.
It's all with re-education. It's all with progressive overload,
Yeah, but
So my patients go from herniated discs to full, like, Gabby, for example. I'm going to give her as an example because, Alfie worked with her as well, and he saw it black and white. She got basically 9-10 month post, diagnostic, and where she lost all hopes and everything. It's simply, she put a post up maybe about 3 months ago when she did a clean with 95 kilograms before the injury, before she even know that she had an injury or contemplating or having an injury. And then 9 months as after I worked with her, the 95 kilograms, 9 months after I worked with her, yeah, he looked like just like that, clean, perfect, absolutely no strain whatsoever. Yeah. After 2 days of having 2 CrossFit competitions done on very, very tired legs, that was on tiredness. She got much stronger post rehab than before. So if you go and work on, like, obviously every individual pattern of movement, you start doing what I struggle with the high end athletes like herself, for example, is to try to ease them back off, because they're like bunny boilers. They just want to go back in there and just tear shit up and do things like a high impact. And my work, although I allow them to train and I allow them to do things, I have to rail them back and keep saying, like, progressive overload. Let's say when I'm not loading anybody's back, we allow time for the disc to heal. If we don't have a microdiscectomy, we have to, first of all, the first stage, take the pressure of the disc, teach the person how to use their glutes to shift a heavy weight, teach the patient how to use their core to take the load of the lower back and they transfer it into the glutes instead. Because that's what you ultimately do. When people go like, oh, your back is shit because you got back, weak core or weak glutes. There's never that, just that as simple as that. It's everything in combination. It's the angle of the thoracic spine. It's your hips, the way, like how much your hips, your ankle dorsiflexion. It's very important. Yeah. Your hip mobility is very important.
Yeah. So when I do legs, I do abduction and abductor, but also the glute machine or hip thrusts.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that, I would say, is perceived as like a woman's exercise, but I actually think it's very important for men as well. Exactly what you said, because you got to strengthen the glutes, right? And that's like 90 to 100% glute motivation. So
exactly,
yeah, I include the glute machine into my legs.
Yeah, it's a great exercise when it's performed correctly. I completely agree, and everyone should do it, whether it's a male or female. It's like we have the same muscles,
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of confusion online. What's one rehab myth or trend that you might have seen that really winds you up, if you see one?
Oh, mate, there's too many.
Give me a just think. What would be
a rehab myth?
The number one. One rehab myth or trend that really winds.
Well, that's exactly singularizing, just saying, like, pinpointing one body part.
Exercise.
Oh, the gender exercises.
But I'm just saying, is that
gender exercises. I saw something the other day. I saw, like, a lady that was advertising that she's a PT for lesbians only, because she's a lesbian herself. Right. And like, what does that matter? So no, I was joking about that. Gender exercises, no. I would probably say, as I said to you, a myth is just some people that throw a clickbait, isn't it? It's a clickbait when they say, like, your lower back is bad because of your core, or your lower back is bad because it's your glutes. Like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
The biggest bullshit ever. You're never going to know till you're going to meet that person. Sorry?
And see what's
the big point that individual. Exactly.
Yeah.
And work with that. You can't just, like, generalize something.
Yeah.
In rehabilitation, especially in rehabilitation.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You emphasize an evidence-based approach. How can people spot bad advice versus solid physio content online?
First of all, bad advice online. I would say when people, again, that's what I mean. When people offer, for example, package deals in physiotherapy, that's what I don't agree with.
In what sense?
Because they say if you sign in with me within 8 sessions, you will be pain free, for example. That doesn't work with physiotherapy. Yeah. You don't know what obstacles you're gonna meet on the way.
You don't know what biomechanics are there behind.
Well, you don't know how that person is gonna work with you. You don't know how they're gonna respond to the treatment.
Yeah.
You have to go for at least like 2-3 sessions to see where's that person, how collaborative that person is with you.
Yeah.
What accountability that person has.
Yeah.
I can smell bullshit from a mile. Like when we say, did you do your exercises? Yes, I did, but I didn't. Did you get any DOMs?
Yeah.
No. Well, you did something wrong. I video my patients doing the exercises and I send them the exercises being done by themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you look at the video? Because you did nothing. Now you just show me an exercise completely different from how I showed you and how I videoed you.
Yeah.
So obviously doing the exercise incorrectly is not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I'm very careful of the cues that I give to my patients. And that's why it's the educational part of it, where I educate my patients, like, this is what you need to do. Because if you just like, you assess someone and within probably 10, 15 minutes, I can figure out a diagnostic. And I can just simply go, there you go, mate, there's the shit. Have the shit go and do these exercises.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the person's like, why the fuck am I doing those exercises? Well, hold on a second. Let me explain to you.
Yeah.
So that's when you start explaining, look, this is the anatomy of the area that you injured. This is how the body works. Yeah. This is the mechanics. Because everything is fucking, that's how we regard the body, as mechanics, biomechanics.
Yeah.
And this is the leverages. This is the fucking fulcrum. This is how it works. Yeah. This is why we need to do this, because we need to strengthen everything around it. We need to create more stability here in order for us to have more power output here.
Yeah.
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 So when you explain to a patient in a pertinent way what they need to do, they want to do it because they understand the mechanics of it. And they're obviously going to be more dedicated in doing that rehabilitation program rather than you going like, oh, do it because I told you so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
So reasoning with them
Yeah.
for why they need to do the exercises, that's what's going to have the successful outcome.
Yeah.
Or if they don't fucking understand, then you will realize that they don't do the things that we told them, and they're not going to get you there. I refuse patients. I'm in a position where if I see that you don't work with me, I'm not going to keep on calling you to get your money. I'm not interested in your money. I'm interested, yes, pay me. Of course, I need to leave as well. But if you don't collaborate with me, if I don't see results, I'm not going to see you anymore.
Exactly.
Because, like 10 months down the line, a year down the line, you keep coming to see me for a minor injury. Like, your friend's going to have, you're still going to see that fucking physio.
Exactly.
You're still not rehab.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, why are you not rehab? Because of me or because of your lack of input into your rehabilitation?
Exactly.
And I'm a great guy. We can have a chat. We can have a fucking laugh. But you come to see me for a chat and a laugh, and for me to do some passive method of physio, like, I got all the equipment in the world. I got electrotherapy, ultrasound, shockwave machines. I have all that. And that helps along. But that's not what's going to make you better if you don't do the shit that I give you to do to get yourself better.
Exactly.
Get yourself stronger.
You can give someone everything, but if they don't do it, it's not going to work.
It's useless.
It takes two to tango.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very interesting you say that, because out of, like you, probably hundreds of people saying with me, hundreds of clients who just completely changed their lives. But there's always the 1%, right, that just, they'll turn around in 3 or 4 weeks and go, why have I had no progress?
Did you do your stuff?
I'm paying you.
Did you eat properly?
Exactly, I'm paying you. And I'll go, that's no problem. Yeah. Let's go on Zoom. Let's see, have you eaten in your deficit every single day? Have you done your training 4 times a week? And I know, because through the app, I get to see everything.
Yeah.
When they train, what weight they've done, so we can introduce progressive overload. I can see if they've had their macros, their protein, fats and carbs, have they hit their calorie targets. So I knew the answer, and this person did as well. But I just wanted to demonstrate.
Yeah.
I was not going to bring any names into it. And I said, okay, so, and I'm a very hands-on one-to-one coach. I'll be messaging you every day. I speak to all my clients 10 times a day. And we went, right, so can you just, here's the screen. I shared my screen. Just point to a day where you've eaten in deficit.
Yeah.
So there's 10-second silence.
Yeah.
And then I said, and just point to a day where you've done 1 week where you've trained 4 times. There wasn't 1 week.
Yeah.
It was either didn't train once, or maybe once in 4 weeks. This person had trained, and in a deficit, not once.
Yep,
not once. So eating at maintenance level, and this person said, yeah. And then all the excuses come.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Busy.
I haven't got time.
I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
I said, look, and I know what this individual did, and it was yes, a tough job, but. With respect, I said it's amazing. I'm not going to take that away from you. But out of all the other people, I've got people that finish work at 4 a.m. and they go to the gym at 4:30 a.m. to get to their kids at 7 a.m. It's prioritized. It's consistency. It's discipline.
Consistency.
And actually, some people, like you said, I'm like, you know what? We all like to earn money, but you're wasting your money with me.
Yes.
I can't. I give you everything you need.
No, it gives you a bad name.
But then I can show them graphs of other people, whether they're 57, 51, 48, 42, male or female, perimenopausal, menopausal, or male, and I can show them these people are losing 1 kilo of fat a week.
It's science, isn't it?
A week.
You do it right.
Even if you've given me 4 weeks, this person's lost 4 kilos. 12 weeks, 12 kilos. 24 weeks, 24 kilos. You?
Nothing.
Not even, 0.1 of a kilo. And that's why. And if you do hit your macros, like this one, this one, this one, and this one, these are the results.
Yeah.
And then that person went, shit. Yeah. Okay. But some people say, fuck it. And I'm like, yes, fuck it. Go and find something that's not going to give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually, this person made the most, literally, like someone turned a switch.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm getting 10 messages a day, screenshots, food. And the weight is coming down. I said, see,
Well,
all you needed to do was hit your macros and train, and you're getting amazing results. So discipline and consistency.
Yeah, you have to have.
You can give everything to that person and help, but they also have to partake as well.
Yeah, it works both ways. You have to have a two-way road made there.
Yeah.
And if they don't give it back, that's what I said to you. That's exactly what I do. I said you can work with me, or we can just stop seeing each other. I gave you the program. Come to see me when you see a progress in what I gave you, and then we're gonna talk about bringing you other exercises, other stuff. A progression. But you didn't even touch the basic. You didn't even touch the edges of what we should. So. Yeah, lack of accountability.
There's only so much you can do as someone that you can help that much. But if you just sit there and go, well, I'm not going to do it, then
I have to check on with my patients, like once every few weeks. If I give them a new program and I see, well, I don't really feel like I make much progress. All right, show me again. How do you do this exercise? And I film them while they show me, and I'm like, okay, this is how you just did this exercise. This is how you did the exercise when I presented to you. Because I'm not going to give you any cue, but this is the exercise I gave you when I gave you the cues, how to do it correctly. Because there are certain positions that I have to put them. I'm very anal about things like that. You know what I mean? When it comes to rehab, you have to be very precise. You don't just do like you can do, for example, things to do with your scapular stability for your shoulder. You have to work on your rhomboids. You can do actually scapular retraction using the rhomboids, or you can do glenohumeral movement.
Yeah.
From the outside, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
You can't see the difference.
No.
But if you do glenohumeral movement and you don't do scapular movement, that exercise means sweet fuck all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to. They think they do the exercise correctly and they expect the results to come, but they don't come because it doesn't do it correctly.
Yeah.
So you have to recheck with them every now and again to make sure they do it right.
So when someone's recovering, Radu, we kind of touched up on it before, but when is it actually safe to start lifting again? How would you know?
After what?
After an injury occurrence, pain has set, whether it's, level 10 pain or where they've come to you and said, Radu, I'm fucked, can't walk, my back's gone.
I know. That depends on
when do you think it is?
Depends on the person, depends on the level of fitness. Again, depends on like whether there is, because you asked me before about if there's a difference between me working with like regular people versus pro athletes. And I don't think I actually answer it fully. So the pro athletes, they have the incentive that they want to go back to their sport as soon as possible.
Yeah,
and they put every single graft into that to get better. And especially if you explain to them like why they're going to get better and they see the results, they're going to fight towards that. Normal, average Joes, they don't really put that much unless they have, again, they're dedicated there. They fully into the movement that they do, for example. Yeah. So to get them back, as I said to you, like, I have athletes that I got them back. You work around it. You still allow them to do certain movements, but you hold them back on certain things that would be detrimental for their rehab. Once you start being like, for example, let's say we could give an example for the lower back. For example, when I allow people, for example, with disc herniation, let's give you, for example, like, I allow them to go back to certain activities, for example, loading the spine. Yeah, so squatting, barbell squatting. If they go for at least 6 to 8 weeks of no events on the lower back, no acute pain, no sudden onset of pain where like they go and just like, like you used to get that kind of acute sharp, like, 10 out of 10 pain when you're moving suddenly, for example. So if that is being absent for like 6 to 8 weeks, then you start thinking that disc, for example, start healing a little bit, right? So that's when you allow them slowly to start putting like a minimal weight throughout the spine, load the spine slowly, start again, stay like that for a few weeks. You don't have any kind of event, no acute episode, no acute onset of pain. You go add some more weight, make the exercise a little bit more difficult.
So how often would you add? Are you talking about like weekly? So like whether it's just the bar, add 10 kilos, 20 kilos?
No. You need a little bit more to create progressive overload, to allow, for example, the disc and the lamina in the disc to get stronger.
So once you've so whether you just even put 5 kilos on a barbell, do that for 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks,
okay.
Exactly, then it's okay. And after that, you go up again. We go up again, and we go up again. Yeah. Or for example, people that don't tolerate picking a heavy weight off the floor. Doing like just a normal deadlift, for example, like just picking a weight off the floor. You start with picking it off, for example, of like a block, and then you drop the block. You pull up, let's say, 2 25 kilograms bumper plates from where they start picking up the weight off. Then after about 2 weeks on getting a little bit stronger, creating a little bit of a, the right tension, getting the right movement, is no acute episode, no onset of pain. You drop that from instead of 2 25s, you go to a 25 and a 20.
Yeah.
And then if nothing happens again in 2 weeks, drop it to a 25 and a 10. Or you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So slowly you start dropping till you create progressive, like, that depth, for example, from where he or she picking up the weight, it's lower and lower and lower till they manage to finally pick up a weight off the floor. That's what I do with weightlifters, with CrossFitters, and people that, generally work on barbells.
You often talk about realistic prognosis. How do you balance keeping clients hopeful without selling false timelines?
You make people aware about their contribution to the rehab program, and make them understand that they are accountable to what they do. And again, like yourself, like, that's what I tell people. When I give them the rehab program, for example, I say, you have to do this ideally in an ideal world 3 times a week, because lots of people go very excited and they want to literally do the rehab program to get back as soon as possible, to do it every single fucking day. And I'm like, you don't have to do it every single day. The body needs time to recover as well. You need to recover between the session. It's, periodization is very important. So instead of you going balls out for like, 6 weeks, and probably you have clients like that they literally want to get the beach body ready for their holiday.
Next week.
And they want to go in and they train, twice a day, 7 days a week. And then, they go on holiday, they lost motivation, become a fat bastard again, isn't it? How many times you see that? It's the same with a physio, just like you don't have to go. I rather see someone, instead of doing it 3 times a week, do it twice a week, but do it consistently.
Yeah.
Don't go to like for next 5, 6 weeks or like, let's say you suffer with something for 10 years. You had a problem with your shoulder for 10 years or lower back for 10 years. And then you expect them within 2-3 weeks to be just like that, suddenly cleared out of you have to work towards it. And that's why you have to tell them, you have to get into their mind and realize, don't have unrealistic expectations that, a problem that you suffered, a degenerative problem that you suffered for the last 10 years, you will get them fixed like that within a month or 2. It takes a while, and you explain, then you don't have to tell them, I'm going to cure. If you use your words like, I'm going to cure you, you're going to be cured. Yeah. No, you have to tell people that I'm going to teach you how to manage your problem. You're going to make it much better, improve your condition to the point that you might even forget that you had an injury, you ever had an injury, but you have to constantly work on that and you have to manage your problem, because I educated you enough for you to be able to manage it yourself. And if you don't create that consistency, even when your symptoms subside, you still have for chronic diseases and things that are degenerative. For example, osteoarthritic problems. You can't stop.
Yeah.
You know, you don't use it, you lose it.
I use
You
that.
see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How important though is that word consistency? I think
It's the biggest, and that's why
it's the biggest word. Would you agree?
exactly, because mate, exactly. That's the most important bit, because that's what I said. People look at me now. Yes, you lift up heavy weights. Yes, you for 45-year-old, yeah, you're in good shape. But what they don't see is that I never stop. If I stop, I go bonkers.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just that weekly growth. You know.
Yes, fortunately, most of my clients are that, but consistency is just the most important word. And then my clients are probably as bored as yours are of hearing me say that, because it's all good and well. I keep saying, some of them go, I've had really good 2 days, right? Well, what about tomorrow?
Yeah.
And the next day?
And you know what? It matters.
And next week, and next month, day after day, week after week, month after month.
Well, you know,
it has to be consistent.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you know what's the most important fucking bit? Is the one in the day that you don't want to fucking do.
Exactly.
And you fucking still turn up and you still do something.
Yeah,
but that's the most important bit. It's not the bit where like, oh my God, I can't fucking wait to go to the gym and train.
No, it's true. We all have days we don't want to go.
Well, exactly.
You just turn up.
And when you turn up and when you still do, like, yes, you're not going to go 100%, you're not going to, but you fucking do something. And at the end of that training session, you're going to go, fuck me, you know what? I feel fucking better here, but I didn't give up and I did something.
Yeah.
You know? And that matters the most. Yeah. That creates that dependency on training. That creates that consistency.
And that's what I do for my clients. When I've had clients, whether they're male or female, they'll call me from the car and go, Matt, just remind me why I'm here. Why am I outside the gym? Because I cannot be asked to go. And it's that motivation. Just we're all human. Just because I'm a coach, he's a physio. You don't think we turn up sometimes and go, I can't be fucked today. I can't be just. We train all the time. We just can't be asked. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you're really sick with a temperature, or maybe then that's probably going to have an adverse effect. But there are going to be days where you're like, actually, shall I go? Shall I go? I can't be asked. It's not going to happen that often, but when it does, just get your ass in the car, get to the gym, just get through the fucking door, and you'll be fine. So consistency that's the key word.
That's the key.
Please we agree on that, because it's so important. I keep saying it, and clients are like, "Fucking hell, he loves that word, doesn't he?"
Yeah, but that's the main fucking word.
Exactly, it's so important.
Everything.
If you are consistent, loads of good shit's gonna happen.
Raft and consistency.
If you have a good few days and go, right, that's it. I've had a good week now. I'm gonna have a 4-day rest. Like, no,
that's not gonna count anymore. That everything, all that good work that you put for 3 days, you're gonna fuck up in the rest of the 4 days.
You press record, and I'll just play your voice as well, so at least other people can hear someone else say it. Good. So, when someone finishes rehab and is pain free, what would you say is the next best step to stay injury free?
Next best step to get in the fucking gym and train, and stay as strong as possible.
Well said. That's
people. That's what I said to you. People think I tell them to get in the gym. Like, you have runners, for example, yeah. Well, all long distance runners or cyclists. They think they go on the road and just fucking run. That's all. The only thing that they have to do. Get in the fucking gym and train and strengthen your glutes, strengthen your core, strengthen your legs.
I know.
Like, that's going to make the difference between you and another one that actually does some strength and conditioning. Any sport, any movement requires strength and conditioning. And that's why I'm encouraging people. Resistance training, it's what's been proven to keep, like, your hormonal system fucking going. Your bones, your like, your hormonal systems is keep going, because your muscles are, you have muscle tonus, muscle mass that actually regulate your hormones, your testosterone levels, your thyroid, your everything depends on how well you move and how often you...
Estrogen levels as well.
Estrogen levels, which we need as men, as well as, obviously the females as well. But, like, that's what improves your function, your hormonal function, and obviously endocrine function, that's hormonal function, your musculoskeletal system. It's going to protect you against osteoporosis. It's going to protect you against osteoarthritis. Why wouldn't you train?
It's mad, isn't it? Because if you took the gym away from us, there's certain people who train, right? We're in this world, we're in this arena, but there's a lot of people that don't.
Well, that's what did I say to Alfie on the way here? I said, soon it's going to be a luxury to be in fucking shape.
Well, it is really at the moment.
It is a luxury. Look at the plebs on the fucking street. I'm appalled, mate.
I know.
I'm appalled.
We're in the top 1%. But imagine changing lives with someone like that. Imagine just not training and looking at someone.
I climb the fucking trees. I'll do something, you know.
It would drive me. Imagine it'd drive me mad if I wouldn't be able to train. And that's what happened when I was injured. You just go insane.
No, it's not. It's no work for me out there.
When you're injured, yeah.
I want to train till I'm 80, mate. I want to train till like literally the last day, I live.
How important is structured strength training after rehab, especially for people with busy lives or recurring niggles?
It's the most important. The strongest you are, the more protected you are against injuries. Simple as.
That's what I say to all my clients.
It makes us harder to be kidnapped as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Because you can fight off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what is no negative effect of strength training? Absolutely none.
Yeah.
Like, name me, I challenge anyone out there to tell me one, like, negative effect of strength training.
Yeah.
100%
sure.
One single one. You know? Running, for example, can fuck your joints, for example. Yeah, I can give you lots of examples why long distance running.
And you put them in the gym and they won't lift 2.5 kilos.
Exactly.
The muscle wastage.
Exactly.
And it's funny because I've had more of the female clients actually when they're coming into perimenopause in their 40s, and they tell me, "Oh, Matt, I've been doing hit sessions. I've been doing battle ropes in the park at 6 a.m. and slogging their guts out for 45 minutes."
Yeah, but that's bollocks, mate. That's another.
And they have good neckline, good shoulders, but they've the little pop out bellies.
Yeah.
And they say that they eat well. Well, they're not tracking their food, number one, and we don't know how many calories they're eating. But why have I got this belly, Matt? I'm training so hard. I eat well. I said, what weightlist? What strength training you do? Yeah. Well, I'm doing the battle ropes and I'm pushing tires over. I said, but what strength training you do? And the reason why is because the cortisol level raises so much. Exactly. Your body's so hard that the insulin just sits in their stomach and it creates these little pop-out bellies. So they come on with me, and 4 or 5 weeks of doing the structured training, suddenly the belly just goes like that to life.
Flat, yeah. Yeah. But they see that's another myth, because we were talking about myth, yeah? Like, I have patients that come to see me as they say, like they have a personal trainer, and said, "Oh man, last night's session was absolutely fucking cracking. I literally, after the session, I couldn't fucking walk. I woke up like, felt like hit by the bus." And I'm like, hold on a fucking second. Since when? That's an indication of you having a good workout. Well, you feeling absolutely better than fucking hit by a truck after a session, a training session, it's an indicator how good the session or how good the instructor is. That's complete fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel battered after every single, strength training session or any kind of session, is it?
It's true.
No, it's just creating good habits.
Yeah.
Or training correctly, learning how to train smartly. How to, from my point of view, everyone should learn about, how to create stability around the joint before we go into hypertrophy, for example.
Yeah.
That will spare a lot of people from injuries, in my opinion. But then create smart structured training. You don't have to fucking go and smash yourself in the gym every single fucking session. You have to have sessions at some point where you go and get a little bit worked out and just feel like you actually.
Well, it depends what sort of.
It depends on what you're doing. Depends for what purpose you do. It depends on what level of fitness you are.
Because I'm telling all my clients, because I can't physically be with them because they're all over the world, but you have to get yourself out of your comfort zone.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because if you go into the gym, you're on a chest press, you're whistling, you're looking right.
The concentration,
easy,
smart training, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, this is easy. Right, I've done that. I'll go on. So there's no point.
But no, because you brought in this the battle ropes, and the smashing, because that's a big trend, isn't it? The HIIT training and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's a massive trend, to have someone shouting at you, "Come on, do 10 more, come on, 10 more." You're already fucking on the floor, smashed. Come on, 10 more.
High rock stuff.
That's not necessarily smart kind of training, is it?
I agree with that.
Isn't that? That's what I'm saying.
Really agree.
Yes, go in the gym and fucking push yourself up, but that doesn't mean you have to come out of that gym and next day to feel like you literally been shagged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to have that approach. You have to feel like you did an intense workout.
Yeah.
But now you've been smashed and you can't walk anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's the dangerous, all these like, what's it, the boot camp that people are
Man, it fails, isn't it? Unless and then you really only learn the hard way, as I said. And then some people go online, they find this man off the internet, and they're like, oh, yeah, I've got this little profile belly, but my neck and shoulders all right. And yes, it's because you're killing yourself, and you're just doing yourself more damage.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it's amazing because when I go, I travel around a variety of gyms depending on what I'm doing, and there's still the amount of. It's good that some people decide I'm going to go and join a gym, whether they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. They just don't do anything and they join a gym, but they just respectfully don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You want to help people, I want to help them. So it's just in my natural gift. I don't want to be going around to everyone going, don't do that, do it like this, because you don't want to be seen as like this. No, but sometimes, like the other day, this fella, he must have been, I don't know, 49, 50. He was on a lat pull down, and he literally was grabbing the bar, and he would go all the way back till he was nearly flat, bringing the lat bar down to his chest, and then letting it pull him back up. Yeah. And I just had to stop what I was doing. I was like, mate, you're gonna give yourself such a bad injury. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can I just show you, just safely, how to do this? So you work the right muscle. And he was like, yeah, oh, amazing, thank you. And you never know what response you're gonna get. Some people may say fuck off, but rarely. But someone like, oh, I have no idea. I just.
But you see people in the gym over the years. I've been to a gym, the reputable shithole corporate Davy Lloyd, for 13 years, and trust me, I left it now because they're a bunch of pieces of shit. Well, I'm done by saying that anyway. I saw over the years people training there looking exactly the same, fucking in the same shape, which wasn't a great shape.
That's the other thing.
It's just like they do exactly the same shit.
It's so true. It's so true that I could make a killing. There's so many people in there. Like I wouldn't go, God, mate, or whether it's male or female, just you look like this for a year.
Yeah.
I want to say. You just need to sign up with me for 3 or 6 months, and I promise you will look so different.
All that time that you spend doing bullshit.
Exactly. I see these men and women, they're doing all this shit, and
they have the good heart to do it.
Exactly. That's what I mean. They're turning up, but 60% of it is what they eat.
Yeah.
It's just, and then you ask, oh yeah, but I eat healthy. So how much of it? How much are you eating? How many calories?
Exactly. I have a salad.
I don't know.
A salad with an egg.
I have a salad. Exactly. Here's the answer.
I eat healthy. Yeah.
And do you know what the most?
I have a sandwich from Marks and Spencer.
But the best thing about it is when I get the messages like, I can't believe you told me to eat this much, and I'm losing even more weight.
Because you eat quality.
Yeah, but you're hitting macros. Your metabolism goes through the roof. Yeah. You're maintaining and building, and to an extent, some muscle, but you're simultaneously burning the body fat. Yeah. And that's the magic behind the science. Some people don't realise. No. But it's okay because you eat a salad and egg. But why is nothing changing? And why do you look the same after?
Make sure you got a good coach that could coach you into, like, for example, in the sport, like in weightlifting, in fitness. Have the right investigations done. Don't stir away from asking your doctor to send you to the right people to have an MRI, for example. If nobody can give you an answer, if you go to a medical professional, anybody goes to a medical professional, and for example, he's got a knee pain at the front of the knee, and you go to that medical professional and you say you're a runner, and that medical professional will tell you that you got chronic anterior runner's knee pain, then fucking run away, because that is a bullshitter.
Yeah.
So find people that actually give you the right diagnostic. If they don't know how to give you the right diagnostic, ask them to refer you for an MRI to actually get to the bottom of the problem, and treat the problem within. Now, don't treat the symptoms, treat the cause, because the symptoms were only going to take you so far.
Yeah.
So that will be my advice. Find a good physio, make sure they do the right investigation. Don't put up with chronic low back pain or chronic shoulder pain. Those are not diagnostics. Just get someone to pinpoint exactly what is the structure that gives you the issues, and come up with like a pertinent rehab plan. Otherwise, as I said to you, take it in your own hands. Self-referred for imaging, for example. I'm not saying imaging is the answer, but like
it helps.
It helps, along the way.
For sure. Okay, Radu, so how can people find you, and what would you say is the key to success to the healthy, strong individual?
Well, How can people find me? It's very simple. I got a website. It's rdphysiotherapy.com. I have an Instagram profile like everybody else does. It's raduphysio, simple, RADU physio. That's where we can find the booking links and everything else. In my opinion, for someone to stay atop of their game, they have to find this kind of hub of like a good coach, such yourself, a good physio. And I think that would probably be what matters for anyone that trains to stay at top of their like physical peak for performance and how they look and consistency. Again, all goes down to consistency. Yeah, so it's that kind of like find the perfect hub. Doesn't matter whether it's somewhere remote that is not within your area. Like I said, I have patients like, yes, you work online and obviously remote, but I do like yourself. I do online assessments and things like that. I work with Estonian weightlifters. I work with people from Saudi. I work with a lot of like international with Northern Ireland, with lots of Scottish weightlifters, etc., etc. And I do online stuff as well as I'm doing face to face, which those are my preferred form of like, interaction with my patients. And I got people that literally fly from abroad to come to see me. But again, finding that hub of a good coach and a good physio that can support you along your journey, I think that's the ideal situation for someone who does do sport.
Brilliant. Radu, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Cheers.